Hello, and welcome to the episode of My 2 Cent. My name is Paul Emerson, and I'll be giving you my 2 cent. I know the vast majority, it's a Runday. It's always Runday every 3 days. I know the vast majority of my audience is probably male, and there's a lot of chaos in the internet when it comes to the dynamic of human interactions. So, this video is designed specifically to address some of the conflict when it comes to the relationship dynamic between men and women. And in general, it's to the people on the internet that are, you're either on the internet looking for answers because you're having an issue, or you're on the internet because you are the issue. So this video is for the people on the internet that have issues and are seeking answers to their conflict. The vast majority of the world does not function based on what you see on the internet. The internet is not an accurate reflection of reality. The internet is an accurate reflection of human insecurities projected into reality, because the algorithm caters to the things that we are afraid of. The algorithms are designed to give us information that caters to our insecurities and our fears more than it does to the latter. And typically, when you're looking for a solution to a problem, by its nature, a problem is something that is causing you distress. So since people are always constantly searching the internet for distressful things and solutions to those things, the algorithm unbiasedly prioritizes all of that negativity over positivity. So in the context of that, this video, which won't get very far, it won't trend, it won't blow up or anything, it's designed specifically to address the single fundamental conflict of the dynamic between men and women, and that is establishing what a decent human being is. It's very hard in society for any one of us individually to say, hey, I'm a decent person, these are the things that make me decent, because your ability to defend who you are is limited to you. And you can walk into a room and you can do all of the things you're supposed to do to prove that you are a decent person, but everybody has the right, especially here in America, to ignore your truth and substitute their own. That's why Adam Savage has that shirt, I reject your reality and substitute my own, because he understands the nature of dealing with people. You can show somebody that you can unequivocally prove that you are correct and valid in what you're doing or saying, and still have to be humble and submissive to people that have gone out of their way to be failures and continue to fail. And somehow, even though they are consistently in a condition of not achieving the objectives they set for themselves, you are the one that has to constantly redefine yourself, just so they can say, well, I just don't want to agree. I just choose not to accept what is directly in front of me, right? So that's why the internet is what it is. So there are three basic values that you have to recognize in life: morality, ethics, and value. I substituted legality to value because it makes more sense in the context of what I'm speaking. They are, in essence, the same thing. But the value aspect is what we apply. Morality covers nature and natural order. It's what is natural and what is unnatural. And it is what is true in nature. Vegans say, oh, it's wrong to eat meat. Nature says that the vast majority of life forms on this planet consume other life forms. So if it's wrong to eat an animal because it has a soul and a spirit and it's a living being, then it should be wrong for herbivores to eat plants for the same reasoning. But we don't recognize that. So the only divine creature on this planet from now, if you follow that logic, are trees and plants, because they consume energy from the sun to produce their food. So that's morality. Ethics is what what the mind, the sentient sapient mind, has defined for its values of what is good versus bad. And this is subject to the inherent nature of pain and pleasure. So ethics is governed by the nature of pain and pleasure. And it gets ubiquitous. I think I'm using that word wrong. It gets convoluted. It's not the correct, but it's probably more accurate. I think ubiquitous means something different. It gets convoluted in the sense that what might be pleasurable for you might be pain for someone else. and trying to define between those two can become a slippery slope. So just because something feels good or is good doesn't necessarily mean that it should be recognized as good. You can incorrectly evaluate those two. Thirdly, it's value. Value applies to legality, and legality is the governance of and social interactions. So our values are based on principles of interaction between us. It can be self governing, or it can be the governance between two, or it can be the governance between groups of two. And groups are groups, which creates the states, city states, counties, nations, and all that other fun stuff. And within that spectrum is also families and friendships and social structures, etc., etc., etc. But the point of this is to establish a foundation for what it is to be a decent woman. The most important thing that I would say when it comes to the reality of the dynamic between males and females, when it comes specifically to women, is that it takes the same amount of energy to be kind as it does to be disrespectful. It takes the same amount of energy to say something polite and use, etiquette that it does to be rude and disrespectful. So you don't get to approach somebody and pretend to be somebody that you're not, and then when you get exhausted being somebody that you're not, default back to the person that you want to be, and then feel like you're being betrayed by that person because the interaction that you're having with them is not the one that you want. Because you should have approached them as who you are in the beginning. So there are corrupt men and there are corrupt women. There are decent men and there are decent women. If you are a woman trying to secure a man and you know that you're corrupt, but you try to go after a decent man, and you get tired of pretending like you're not corrupt, and then change from being a decent person to a corrupt person, that decent man doesn't have to put up with your crap. He doesn't have to put up with your shit. Because you should have approached him from the very beginning as who you was. It's not his fault. It's not his failing, because you were the one that engaged in a level of deception. So if you can't stand in your own truth, you should reevaluate your truth, who you are and what you choose to be. Don't keep listening to all these women on the internet that keeps trying to convince you that the problem are men, because the problem inherently starts with individual. Who you are is who you are. And if you don't like the person that you are, you should fix yourself before you try to fix everybody around you. On the counter argument is, if you are a decent person and you are living your truth, and you encounter a decent person, you need to learn the attributes and traits of that indecent person so that you won't keep encountering that same person over and over again. Don't entertain people that are not good, honest, decent people. Don't entertain it. Just don't do it. That's the problem that we have in the world, is when we're dating people, we go out in the world and we pretend to be somebody that we're not, so that we can try to make friends and try to build relationships. And then the more we try to reveal who we are, that counter contrast is what causes our relationships to fall apart in general. And in that dynamic is the problem, because I shouldn't have to pretend to be somebody that I'm not just so people will come over to me and approach me. Because while I'm pretending to be somebody that I'm not, there's a bunch of people out there looking to hang out with the person that I am. But my social circle is full of people that are fake and don't actually care about me, because I'm entertaining this unnecessary dynamic. And then when it gets exhausting and falls apart, now all of a sudden I'm trying to make it everybody else's fault. Because this is what I see on the internet. It's everybody else's fault that the person that I chose to be isn't the person that everybody wanted me to be. And then when I try to be who I am, the people around me are offended by the person that I am. So now it's their problem that I spent the last how many ever weeks, months, years pretending to be somebody that I'm not, and now that they're rejecting the person that I choose to be, they're the ones that's at fault. If you approach somebody as somebody that you're not, and then try to be the person that you are, you're the one that changed, not them. So the failing is on you, not on them. And the latter is still true. If you are a decent person and you're surrounded by a bunch of assholes, once you realize they're assholes, don't start being an asshole. Don't learn how to be the thing that you don't like to be. Stand true in who you are and move forward in life. And then eventually you will encounter the people that you actually want to be around and have a relationship with. And that's just the reality. The reality of these ideas of women need to be more masculine, or women need to be bad bitches, and women need to be dominating and all that stuff is counterproductive. Because when I'm hanging out with other males, I'm not the alpha male in the group screaming at them and trying to put them in their place and tell them what they're gonna do and not gonna do. It's like, hey man, you want to go to McDonald's? No. All right, cool. Where do you want to go? And we come to a mutual understanding, right? It's not like that one guy that's supposed to be the alpha is like, all right, today we're gonna go to Burger King and we're gonna go eat here, and like that's not how life works. So I don't understand where this idea that I don't know how the feminist movement created that dynamic to where women are like, yeah, I gotta tell you what you're gonna do, and if you don't listen to me, then I'm gonna go to the next guy. And it's like, that's not a relationship. That's you having dominion over me, and that doesn't make any sense in any context. Because if I'm not a child anymore, if I'm 18 and my mother is asking me to do stuff for her, and I'm able to say, nah, I'm good right now, or I got to go to work, or, I have other things that I have to do. If my own biological mother and father can respect that once I become an adult, my partner shouldn't be offended that they ask me for something and I say I decline. Like, that's the foundation of a relationship dynamic, right? So it's not really difficult. It's just we all pretend to be something that we're not, which is a lie, which is deception. And then when we get exhausted with that, we try to default back to being the person we want to be, but we've surrounded ourselves with people that are not compatible with that. And in the dynamic of that, we want to say individually, we want to say it's everybody else's fault, but it's not, right? It's not. If I like science fiction. So if I'm approach a girl and I'm like, hey, I like you, do you like me? And I'm like, yeah, I like you. Do you like science fiction? Because I love science fiction. As soon as she says, yeah, I like science fiction, it's not my fault when I'm like, hey, you want to go see Star Wars? Right? Like, there's like other women that actually like science fiction that I could be hanging out with. But you said that you like this thing, and then once you get tired of it, now all of a sudden you're like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. And you can insert anything. I use science fiction because I like science fiction. It could be horror. Hey, I like horror. Do you like horror? Yeah, I like horror. And then it's like, well, I get tired of horror because it's scary and I don't really want to watch that anymore. And it's like, well, why do I have to stop liking horror because I'm in a relationship with you when I told you up front that I like horror? And that's the ultimate dynamic. When you're dating somebody, you're trying to create a safe. The reason why dating doesn't work in this reality anymore is because the only reason why you should be dating anybody is to find a sexual partner to have children with. Like, nobody wants to say it, but that's just the reality. Because you don't have to be in a relationship with anybody if you're not. You don't have to be in a relationship not to have kids, right? Like, I'm perfectly capable of not making a family in isolation, right? I'm perfectly capable of having a bunch of male friends and not starting a family and not having children and not getting married and none of that stuff. So if I go on a date with a girl, which is the reason why I even got married to begin with, if I go on a date with a girl with the intention of starting a family with her, I'm not a psychopath for it. That's just the nature of who we are. So if I'm on a date with this girl and the long-term goal is for us to start a family, and I'm asking questions to see if she's compatible with me enough to do that, I'm not the problem. The conflict in modern society is people hook up with the opposite sex to have fun. We call those friends. You can hook up with people of your own gender and go out and have fun. When you're on a date, you're putting in your application to find a life partner that you're going to have children with and start a family with. And that's the core conflict that exists in the reality of the world. You can't start a family with somebody that you're not compatible with. So you should be going on dates as your authentic self. That's the problem. And the more men are dating these females and they're understanding that, okay, this girl is going to lie to me about who she is, and the more upfront that they're going to lie about me, the more it's going to be tenfold. So if she's already showing me these negative signs now, These are the signs that she's willing to show me now, but it's just gonna compound later and later and later, right? So that's how this is basically working, right? So if you're a lady, what you need to do is you need to figure out how much of who you are you're willing to share with a male that you want to have children with, because that, you as a woman, that should be your primary focus when you're dating. Is this the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? Do I want my kids to have blue eyes? Yes. So I should probably date men that have blue eyes. Not because I'm arrogant or because I'm disrespectful or anything like that, but because that's the value that I have for who I want to have children with. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't date me and be mad that your children didn't come out with blonde hair, because you have all that control in the beginning of male selection. And that's why this is the conflict. Like, I don't really, I didn't really feel like, why you didn't want to be in a relationship with that person. You should just say it flat out. And then the more you actually explain exactly how you feel and why you feel that way, the more you'll find exactly what it is you're looking for. But if you keep pretending like that guy was too tall, he didn't have enough money, he just wasn't tall enough, so that's fine. Like, he just wasn't tall enough. Well, I didn't like the fact that he walked a certain way. Like, whatever the thing is that you didn't like about that person, just be honest with that, so that way you don't have to deal with any of the other adversities and the other chaos that you're gonna create for yourself anyway. And all of this ranting and raving is just literally just to say it takes the same amount of energy to be a decent human being as it does to be a disrespectful piece of shit, asshole, or a bitch. And at the end of the day, if I'm trying to be nice to you and you're being mean to me, when I walk away from you, I'm standing in my own truth. And if you want to say that I'm the asshole because you're the asshole, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm just not going to put up with your crap. And vice versa. If I'm the asshole and you're trying to stand in your truth and you walk away from me, even if I tell you that you're the problem, two wrongs still don't make a right. So if you're standing in your truth, stand in your truth. Don't worry about what other people think or how other people feel, because your life is your own. What you're going to do with your life, what you're going to do with your life. Make decisions and choices that you know that you can live with. And if you do that, you'll be fine in life. The world does not care in any way, shape, or form how you feel, what you want, what your goals are, what your aspirations are. All that stuff is on you. And if you allow yourself to be influenced by people that don't care enough to even want to support you and what it is that you're trying to do, you're going to be miserable for the 100 years that you're on this planet. And the sooner you start alliancing yourself with what you want, the better you're going to be in the long run. I'm sorry I'm boring. This isn't for kids. Like, it's definitely not for children. But I'm saying what I have to say for a reason. And the reason is the world that I live in sucks. it just sucks. I don't understand why it has to be so difficult. And I don't understand why I have to waste so much time dealing with the same stupidity over and over again. So my 2 cents is not about entertaining. It's about education. It's about applying the principles of science and philosophy to your day-to-day life so you can be a better person. The fact of the matter is that the only reason why a lot of us are on the internet is to escape the reality of the world that we don't want to be a part of. But we have the power to change that world into what we want it to be, so we don't have to try to escape to the internet. Just absorbing mindless memes all day for the sake of trying to feel good about life, because we can't have those type of interactions with the people sitting right next to us. I feel like that's an issue that should be addressed in real time. And if we're not going to do that, then what is the point? Like, what is the point? But that's the first part of my 2 cents. The second part is for me to do this run so I can finish my book and put out the principles of how to apply science to your everyday life. So I'm going to run. I'm done ranting and raving. Hopefully I can actually finish the run today. I have been struggling with that, but we'll see what happens. As always, my name is Paul Emerson, and it's a run day. did it again. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you. Afternoon.
Lap 1. Lap pace 10 minutes 51 seconds. 1 mile.
Find a way to go back, to hold on and on. who we are. All you've ever wanted is someone to you 6 feet underwater. Now I do.
reached.
Destroy your worlds. From the grave, from the grave, from the fame, felt your light and I remember why I know this way. I found the bird closing her eyes one last time, and I wonder if she dreams like me. As much as it hurt, I ain't wonderful to feel. So go on and break your wings. Follow your heart. Not afraid. I put through the pain, and I'm also on your brain. Yeah. Why must we fall apart to understand how to fly? I will find a way. Keep going. Follow on till it bleeds. That we're on what we have, not a dream. Follow your heart till it bleeds. As we want for the end of the rain. To the ocean as it breathes, honor and sea, on the mountains that they meet. mother and me have been out of the way. I count down the game, heavy stone, feel no weather. I find comfort in this zone, in the shape of the heart, as it echoes through the chest, from under the ground, till turn into gold. I feel them for gold, heavy stone, feel no weather. From the rain of the river running while you create, illuminate. There's a river running while you create an empire for you, an empire for you. And I hate my feet black. I'm done the head, forever. I wasn't there, and it can't feel. Welcome to fear, heavy stones, feel no weather. From the rain, there's a river running while you create an empire, illuminate. The river running while you create an empire for you, an empire for you, an empire for you, an empire for you. Excuse me!
Lap 2. Lap pace 15 minutes 1 second. Total 26 minutes 13 seconds. 2 miles.
An empire for illuminate. We're running while you create an empire for you. An empire for you. An empire for you. An empire for you. Baby's born on a bathroom floor. Mother crazy, they will never cry. Nothing's wrong. Rest on. They have to say, this is mine. You know you're gonna turn in line. Why the hell don't you throw yourself away? You know they're gonna run it down. Watch my hands of this. Watch my hands of this. Why the hell Don't you throw yourself away. You know they're gonna burn it down. Deep this way you feel anonymous. All these y'all gonna nearly die. Nothing this is what you thought it was. Only asking for a little while. And only knowing terrified. Why the hell don't you throw yourself away? Gonna burn it down. Watch my hands of this. Watch my hands of this. Why the hell don't you throw yourself away? You know you wanna burn it down. For the praise that it'll never die. Nothing's wrong, you got your prom dress on. And then they ask you, say it isn't mine. And damn you for thinking we will never know. And damn you for thinking we would never try. Nothing's wrong until you made it this far. On this one, you should never try. Why the hell don't you throw yourself away? Why the hell don't you throw yourself away? You know you're gonna turn it down. Watch my hands of this. Notice how God ain't even helping you out. Watch my hands of this. You notice how God ain't even helping you. Watch my hands of this. Notice how God ain't even help. Why the hell won't you throw yourself away? Sweet, sweetest, sweetest, sweet. Everything feels so different now. This round, hold of my hand. I will lead you through his wonderland. Walk surrender my knees. First wind and the sea. Follow my yellow light and ignore all those big warning signs. Saw it in the dark. Heart is sick. Here's us all say, close your eyes and see all the colors in the sky. Water into the night. Perfect. And I see a light. Light is blinding my eyes. And this whole world need us alive.
Almost there. You can do it.
Believing in something so distant as if I was human, and I've been denying this feeling of hopelessness and me. Oh, the promises I made just to let you down. You believed in me, but I'm broken. I have nothing left, and all I feel is this cold wanting. We've been falling for all this time, and now I'm lost in paradise. As much as I might the past not to exist, it still does. As much as I like to feel like I belong here, I'm just as scared as you. I have nothing left. All I feel is this cold wanting. We've been falling for all this time, and now I'm lost in paradise. One day we won't feel this pain anymore. Take it all away. Just on a new, 'cause they won't let 'cause I have nothing left. And all I feel is this cold wanting. We've been falling for all this time, and now I'm lost in paradise, alone and lost in paradise. Every day feels like it.
Target reached. Workout paused.